Yeah, I'm not scared of you.
Oh, and now we're live. All right, we're live on Attitude for Gratitude podcast. Jack's over here being a bully.
Oh, yeah,
So,
right.
yeah, we're going to get this show rolling. We're down here at, what is it, 48026? Is that the address here? Well, anyways, we're down here at Will Work for Recovery. This is me, Rob H. I'm filling in for Tim. Tim is out today. He has surgery. So when you see him, give him a hug for me. He probably won't be able to sit down for about a week, maybe a week and a half. Oh, that's what happens when we get a little older. You know, isn't that right, Jack? These things happen, right?
That's
These things
correct.
happen. These things happen. Anyways, nonetheless, we're gonna get started here. We got our fine young guest here, Jack Action Jackson. He's gonna give us he's gonna drop a spiritual bomb on us. You know, so this is my first time doing this, so take it easy on me, guys. Everybody take it easy on me. Let's just get her started. Jack, how are you doing today, Jack?
I'm all right. Can't complain.
Can you tell me a story?
No.
Why not?
You have to be more specific than that.
I asked you a question. It's a yes or no question.
Yes.
Okay, good. That's what I like to hear. All right, Jack. So why don't you tell me what brought you to Will Work for Recovery? How long you been sober, Jack?
I have been sober 6 years.
6 years.
Yep.
Is it getting any easier?
It's different. I don't know if it's
good
easier,
answer.
But
good answer.
Yeah.
Because if you would have said yes, I would have said bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah. It gets better, but not any easier.
Yeah, your problems change, but
yeah,
it's not easy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Good answer. Most people fall for that one. They're like, oh yeah, it does. I'm like, bullshit.
Yeah, no, it
gets better. And then you develop problems in areas of lives where you didn't have areas of life.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And it's just it's a whole new ball game of things that we have know nothing about. I don't think anybody, nobody gave me a blueprint. They weren't like, hey, this is how you're gonna live life, right?
No. I mean, talking with Dustin, he talks about it all the time. When you're using, there's only one goal, and that's to stop using. And then once you stop using after about a year, it's like people and yourself expect more. And then all of a sudden that opens the world up to a whole list of other problems.
Yeah. And have you noticed too that the longer you stay in recovery, it's almost like people expect you to have a better recovery?
Oh, absolutely.
Have you noticed that?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And it's like the more time goes on, the more that I feel that like I've definitely gotten away from my first year in the basics and all those things.
Absolutely. It's definitely easy to do because, I mean, just like we said, when you have other areas of life that you've never had before, it's easy to get busy. It's easy to make excuses for why you're not doing the basics.
Yep. Which is why I was guilting Jack for coming on the show and the things I did. Yeah, that's what I do. May not be the nicest thing to do, but I still do it. It's because I care.
Right.
It's because I care.
But that's why it's so important.
It is
when you come into recovery to build a good foundation. Because when you do get busy and things happen, if you don't have that community of people or places to go or people to call, it's going to be a lot harder to stay sober.
Yeah. The storm. My first sponsor told me about that. And I kind of, I was like, I kind of get what he's saying until I went through my first storm. Right. And then I was like, oh, this is what he's talking about. So Jack, tell me what it was like growing up. What happened? What it was like? What it's like now?
Growing up, only child. I grew up in St. Paul for the first 6 years, then moved to Tucson, Arizona, and bounced back and forth between Tucson and the Twin Cities growing up. Went to quite a few different schools in the first part of life. I think I went to 11 schools in 12 years, so I was the new kid a lot. Yeah, I don't know. And when I was 14, 15 years old, I found drugs and alcohol.
Yeah. Did you finally found yourself, huh? Figured something out?
I was searching.
Yeah.
Searching, mad at the world, mad at where I was, location-wise, mad at my parents.
Okay. So did you have behavioral issues when you were a kid then, or was it pretty normal, but you just didn't like the whole moving around thing?
It was pretty normal. I mean, I'm sure I got in trouble a few times, but nothing
regular stuff.
Yeah, regular stuff, but nothing too crazy until high school.
Yeah. Yeah. So what did you start with? Do you remember?
Weed.
Marijuana.
Yeah.
Now, did that become your identity?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a new school, so every time you go to a new school, you can, kind of reinvent yourself. And I found the stoners and quickly became one of them.
So now, when you first started using, did you automatically notice some consequences, or was it just kind of smooth sailing and everything was just kind of nice and easy for you?
It was pretty easy at first. Yeah, I don't know, or at least I didn't see the consequences.
Right.
And I mean, I remember first getting high, and I was like, I am gonna do this every day from now on, no matter what. Even though it was kind of scary, and it was kind of like, oh, I shouldn't be doing this. I still was like, this is just what I'm gonna do now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had some pretty serious consequences that I didn't realize until much later. I totaled my parents' car.
Whoops.
I skipped most of my senior year and was super lucky to even graduate. Yeah, there were some consequences, but
it was just regular life back then.
Yeah,
you didn't really see it, right?
It wasn't my fault.
Yeah, it was their fault.
Yeah, it was.
Of course.
It was the world's fault.
Absolutely, always is.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how long did it take you to notice that this might be an issue?
Oh,
not until your late 20s, early 30s, 40s. I know you're in your early 50s now, right? Oh, mic drop. No, I'm just kidding. Jack's what, 29?
39.
39. That was close.
Anyway, I would say mid 20s.
Yeah.
By then I was drinking all day, every day. And I noticed when I stopped, it was a real problem.
Yeah.
I had a few seizures early on from alcohol withdrawal.
Yeah, those are the worst. I had a couple of those too.
Yeah, they're pretty scary.
Yeah. Honestly, out of anything I ever withdrew from, that was I hate alcohol was the worst.
Yeah.
I really feel that.
Yeah, it's hard for sure. And I was sick so much, not eating, drinking hard liquor all day, every day, just to feel normal by, midnight, 1 a.m. And then I could have my 2 hours of feeling semi good, and then I would just repeat the cycle.
Yeah.
So around 24, 25, that's a ballpark. I don't know exactly when. I called my parents and told them that I needed to go to treatment.
Yeah.
And it was way too early in my story, but yeah, so they said they would pay for one, and they paid for one. And
nice. Did you get to go to somewhere fancy?
Pretty fancy.
Oh man, I always wanted.
I mean, it was the retreat.
That's pretty fancy.
Out in what
I mean,
it was compared to some of the treatments later on. It was nice for sure.
Yeah, yeah. The retreat always sounded really good. Like I hear people go, they're like, man, I always wanted to go.
You guys,
isn't that some sick thinking where you're like, man, I wish I could have went to treatment there.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like normal people don't think that kind of stuff.
I never got to go to Hazelton. I never got to do that stuff.
Right.
But I did go to the retreat my first time, and I was way too early in my story.
You're spiritually enlightened by the time you got out, or what? Just pink cloud high on life.
Yeah, but I mean, I was already planning my relapse.
Yeah, well, because
a week into it, so I mean, I got out and relapsed within hours.
Yep, I did that too.
I didn't follow any of the suggestions.
Right, because it didn't apply to you, right?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I went back with my roommates that were still heavily drinking. Yeah. I don't know. It was just way too early. But my liver had a break for 28 days.
Yep.
And I was ready to go back out and try again.
Well, I know too that, like, especially back then, like it was a 28-day spin dry. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And then people started actually studying addiction more, and it was like the culture changed around it, and people started understanding a little more, and like exactly what is it doing in your brain, right? Because I can remember going to treatment for 28 days. Sometimes there was one that I went to 10 days.
Right.
You know, and
That's
some of them,
crazy.
and it's like, you know, they started really diving into like what it does to the brain and how long it takes, and you know, like what your percentages are of like long-term recovery of people that actually stay in it.
Right.
You know,
And I think it's much longer now. I
Yeah.
mean, depending on the treatment. I know there's probably still 28-day treatments, but
yeah,
later on I was going to places like New Beginnings, and like it was like 45 minimum usually.
yeah.
Sometimes 2 months.
So when you were in treatment, did you actually want to stay sober? Like, was the want was there, right? Like, I'm sure you probably went into there thinking, you know, I want to do this. But then you talk yourself into like,
I mean, I was so sick that part of me wanted to stay sober, but like
Yeah.
I didn't actually want to do
you just did.
any of the things that came with that.
Yeah, you just didn't want the consequences.
Right.
You still wanted to
And
live the life,
once I,
just not
you
the
know,
consequences.
could
Yeah.
handle some food and I put some weight on, and it was like I overreacted. I just did it wrong. I'm gonna
Yep.
go back out and
Yep.
do it in a healthier manner.
Yeah. Right. Right.
But it was,
And then I started doing math. No.
right. Well, no, that
Yeah,
came,
yeah,
that
yeah.
came years later.
Yeah.
But it's super weird when you're the first in your friend group to go to treatment
Yeah.
and you come out,
Yeah.
because then you're hanging out at places where everyone's drinking and you're the sober driver, but you also have a bottle of vodka in your backpack that you're drinking every time you go to the bathroom or whatever. Like, then you have to live this crazy double life of like
Yeah.
hanging out with the same people but still doing the same things but not showing them that you're doing this. It sucks.
So did you find yourself migrating from one friend group that was more or less like, oh, maybe they had a couple extra drinks, to these guys are just insane? You know, did you find you found people that fit your disease?
Yeah, a little more, I guess, but
Yeah.
I basically hung out with the same people. I
Yeah.
hung out
And they put up with you,
before
huh?
that. Yeah.
You were probably
I mean, the
you were
thing is-
probably relatively easy to put up with, huh? You don't seem like you would have been too much of a problem.
Relatively, but I
I mean, like
remember-
people probably would have like maybe had to like, you know, like, oh, because you got too drunk or something because you were malnourished or something like that. But I just don't see it being like a problem.
No,
Like me, I was a jerk, you know, and I'm still kind of a jerk, but
I would
sometimes,
just
you know.
like not be responsible for anything. Like
Yeah.
I remember before going into my first treatment, all that I had to do was stay awake for the landlord to come. That's all I had to do. It didn't matter if I was drinking, doing whatever.
In treatment?
No,
Oh,
no, I'm saying before I went to treatment with my
Yeah.
roommates, they said just stay awake long enough for the landlord to get in the place and fix whatever. I don't even remember what it was.
yeah.
And there was like a snowstorm outside, and I got hammered like right after they left. And I wake up and I see my roommate.
You had one job. You had one job.
I had one job, and I
Yeah.
remember looking out the window,
Yeah.
and I can literally hear them talking shit about me as they're shoveling the like blizzard that's going on outside. And I just remember feeling like the biggest pile of shit. Like,
Yeah.
these are my alcoholic roommates that just wanted me to do one thing. And
Yeah.
I just like just completely fucked it
Yeah.
up, and the
Yeah.
shame and guilt. And I was just like, oh my God, I'm such
You
a
pretended
piece
you were
of
sleeping too.
shit.
You pretended like you didn't even hear him, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I was like,
Yeah.
I can't even face them. And like,
Yeah.
It
Your
was-
heart's pounding, you're sweating, you got, you know what I mean?
sweating, hungover, like
That
dry
alcoholic
heaving.
anxiety is
Oh,
just
it was horrible.
it's an anxiety that like only an alcoholic knows, I feel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's
Like I feel
horrible.
like it's weird. Like, I mean, like the disease is the same, right? The behavior is the same, the feelings are the same, but like there's different, for me anyways, it was like I would classify like different, you know, for instance, the withdrawals were different, or
Oh,
like the
absolutely.
alcoholic anxiety is a little bit different than the opiate anxiety. And then the meth anxiety was like way different. you
Yeah.
know? That was more or less paranoia.
Yeah,
you know-
that's completely like
Right.
I wouldn't even have those in the same category.
Right. But I mean,
But,
it's
I
still a
mean-
symptom of a disease, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's like, but you get what
Absolutely.
I'm saying. Like, you know, there's different like phases of like feelings of drugs and what they do and how they interact with, you know, with somebody. And I know a lot of alcoholics, man, like something that keeps them sick for longer is like, oh, I suffer from anxiety, but little do they know that it's adding to their anxiety. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But they just don't see it, you know, like,
some of my I mean, I struggle with anxiety now, but
Yeah, me too.
some of
Yeah.
my worst panic attacks were detoxing from alcohol.
Yep.
Some of the worst
Yep.
anxiety, and I mean, it was insanity.
Did you ever wake up in jail and not know how you got there?
No,
Dude, that was the worst anxiety ever. And then
never-
you're up in the crazy room and you're like, oh no, you know, and you're like, oh, I did it again. Yeah.
No, I never got arrested until I started meth.
Really
Yeah.
interesting.
I
It was
never
kind of
got-
opposite for me. Like
Really?
I didn't really get arrested on meth. Like I didn't.
Weird.
Like I mean, because I was just awake and coherent. Like,
Right.
but with alcohol, I was out and I'm out in the crowd and I'm thinking I'm somebody and I'm trying to be cool and trying to have this ego and all these things that like. But with meth, it was like, man, everybody knows.
Yeah. See, no, with alcohol, I never was hanging out with the shady people that were robbing houses and doing all this crazy
Yeah.
shit that I had never seen. And then
Yeah,
once
meth
enters,
kind of just
all of a
walks you right
sudden
into it.
your bar for who you hang out with is just like gone, and you're like,
Yep.
well, they
Yeah.
have drugs. And
Yeah.
like, I'll do
Yeah, let's get
whatever.
high. Yeah. And then like they talk to me, so my friend, right?
Right.
You know?
Absolutely.
God, I can't tell you how many hours I just sat and listened to stupid conspiracy theories or who
Oh
knows.
my god.
You know what I mean? Just dude, I think
days.
it makes me
days
sick.
and
It
days
does
and
sometimes make me
days.
sick to think about like how much time that like I really put into like getting high on that stuff. And like the thing with methamphetamines is I hated methamphetamines. I did. The only time I liked it was like in the beginning when I was 16, and then sex. I liked sex on it, and then drawing. But other than that, I hated it. I hated the people and the lack of caring about what they're doing and their surroundings and the fact that you can't trust anybody. You know what I'm saying?
I
And
didn't
nobody's telling you the truth.
And I didn't
You
learn
know?
that. I
Yeah,
wanted to believe in people.
Yeah.
And I got railroaded.
I'll bet.
I was a horrible meth addict.
Yeah.
I would be like, oh, they're gonna
Yeah, yeah.
they're gonna come back with my money.
They're gonna come back with my car.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
was
Yeah, you can
I
borrow
was
my car, no
terrible.
problem.
I
Yeah,
was
they're my
terrible. I was
buddies.
like, I'll give them drugs now. They'll get me back. Did I? Never.
Right.
Never did they ever get me back.
No, and and when you really needed them, they were nowhere to be found.
Oh, absolutely.
You know.
You know how many times they bailed me out of jail?
Zero.
Zero.
Yep. And the only who did your parents come see you?
No. Well, it was hard because they were in California at the
Oh,
time.
okay.
and
They
I was
would have
there.
if they were here, right?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think. Well, no. I mean, they would come see me, but they wouldn't bail me out.
Right. I think my
Because
dad bailed me out one time.
Yeah, because my parents said they liked when I was in jail because
Then
they
you're
knew
safe.
where I was.
Yeah.
So,
So
like, but they put money on my books and made it
Yeah.
a little more comfortable for me. But
yeah, that was nice of them.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But they liked knowing where I was rather than getting frantic, spun out fucking calls at
Oh, God.
3 a.m.
Yeah.
They're in a different state on a normal schedule, and I'm like, can you look up directions from Apple Valley to like just crazy shit?
Apple Valley to Apple Valley.
Yeah, Apple Valley to this other place in Apple
Yeah.
Valley, and they're
Yeah.
like, what are you talking
So-
about?
How did it go from alcohol to methamphetamines? What happened? Did you see it coming? Was it just like was it like alcohol, cocaine, and then somebody was like, "Hey, I got something better than that," and they're like, "Okay, I'll give that a shot." And then before you know it, you're on the east side in some basement rolling a bub, and people are gonna go rob somebody. Who knows? The list goes on.
I mean, I didn't do meth until I was 30.
Wow.
I mean, with alcohol, I did all the other stuff, coke,
Yeah.
ecstasy. I mean, I did a lot of other things before I landed on meth.
Yeah.
And those had consequences, but nothing like meth did for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'd never been arrested or anything before meth.
Yeah.
I don't really know why it got there. I was out of alcohol one night, and someone offered it to me,
Yeah.
and I don't know. I was like, I don't know. I could not tell you why I did it.
Yeah.
I liked almost every drug I had ever done,
Yeah.
and I mean, you're lying for things that you're never gonna do. It's
Yeah.
farther and
Yeah, you
farther
push the
as
envelope.
the years.
Yep.
And it was just kind of in front of me, and I hadn't built a life that I was proud of, so I didn't have
Yeah.
any reason not to,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know. That sounds really strange.
No,
but
I get that. That makes a lot of sense. Because I know for me and my story, it was like that's all my life was using. So like, why would I do anything else, right? So, I know for me it was like, like I grew up in suburbia, you know what I'm saying, but like we didn't have no money. We were poor, and I can remember like everybody else had all this stuff, right? And like and I didn't have anything, right? But then there was a dude that sold weed, and like he made it look very appealing, and he sold powder. He made it look very appealing, and I was like, well, I want to do that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I could like, I could really get out of this hole that I'm in. You know what I mean? When really it was like I was just getting manipulated into putting my own name out there to get in trouble for his stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean? And every time he got a new car, he'd come over to my house, and I remember that, but it was, for some reason I just couldn't get a new car, right?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like monkeys can't sell bananas, right?
Yeah.
But I didn't know that at the time. When I first heard that, I was so mad. You know what I mean? I was like, oh man, right?
Right.
But so yeah, I mean, like I didn't really feel that there was anything else that like I could have done, and being in recovery, you kind of learn that like there's so many things that you can do in life. There's so many things that you can do in life, and you don't have to end up where you end up when you're in active addiction.
Absolutely not.
Like the crazy thing is that I mean, how many people you think you've lost since you've been clean?
Ooh.
It's open.
Is today a free for all or is it designed?
Yeah, I'm gonna have him on for a little bit, and then it'll be a free for all. I'll probably have him on for like another 15, 20 minutes. Can you handle that? No, you're all right. Anyways, you were saying. Or was I was saying you were saying you were saying?
Just people that I know in recovery that have died.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
A lot.
Too many.
Too many.
Too many.
Yeah, too many to count. I don't know.
Yeah. Whole bunch.
Yep.
Whole bunch.
I mean, unfortunately, statistically, staying sober is not the norm.
No.
For people.
No. Yeah. A lot of us don't make it.
Right.
So how many treatments did it take you?
I think I went to 7 or 8 inpatient treatments.
Okay.
And I think a couple outpatients.
Yeah.
And yeah, I always prided myself on, oh, well, I put myself here.
Yeah, right. I'm not like them.
I'm not like them because they're all court ordered and they don't actually want this. I put myself here. Yeah. Which was just a load of crap.
Absolutely. Yeah, we tell ourselves a whole bunch of things.
Absolutely.
So what was someone down out there? So what was the tragedy that got you to recovery? What was the straw that broke the camel's back?
I don't know. See, I mean, this last one, I had a probation violation. I went to jail.
You were in Dakota County, weren't you?
No, well, I've been to Dakota County, but no, not.
That's not where you're on probation at.
No, I was in probation in Goodhue County.
I don't know which one's worse. I don't know. Probably they both
Dakota,
suck.
No, Dakota's way worse.
Yeah.
Goodhue was.
Yeah, I was in Dakota. I was in Dakota a lot, and that sucked.
Yeah, that was not ideal. Dakota really sucked.
Yeah.
23 and 1 and.
Yeah. That was my home jail. Yeah, I used to call that. Like when people are like, oh, you did H&I. I'm like, that's my home jail. You know what I mean? Like, wow, the high cost of low living, when you got a home jail.
Right. I mean, yeah, I had been there a few times.
Where you can when you consider jail a vacation, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, that's where this disease brings us, right? Where it's like, oh, I got to kick my feet up.
Yeah,
and hang out with some friends and get something to eat. And gain some weight. How are you?
And sleep for a few days in a row.
Weeks.
Weeks.
Yeah, get some sleep. You get your nutrients up, man. You're like,
and then you're ready to
do it again. Let's do it again.
Absolutely.
What's the worst that can happen, right?
Absolutely.
And then even with the cigarettes, you're in there and nobody's smoking. The first thing you do when you get out, you're like, hey, let me get a cigarette.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And
but in my meth addiction, I didn't even care about tobacco. Any effort I had went straight to meth. I didn't even pretend like I had any resources for tobacco or nicotine. But
yeah,
I don't I don't really know. This last time I had a probation violation, I was in Goodhue, and there was a lot of people in there from DOC that had to do a year in county after a certain time allotment in prison, I guess. In Minnesota, you have to do a year in county. I don't know if that's true or something like that. I know that they were doing a year there. So a lot of these guys were facing 10, 12 years for drugs.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I heard a lot of their stories, and they were just saying, you know, if I had a chance to go out there and do it again, I would do it differently.
Not do it again. No.
Right. Well, some of them did.
Yeah.
Some of them, you know, were talking about how they do it differently and stuff like that. But a few of them, I could see in their eyes that they just didn't have any hope because they were going to be there for a long, long time.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you know, I didn't really know if I was going to stay sober. But I got furloughed to a treatment. And since I got furloughed, I had to follow all recommendations or it would be a breach of my probation. And I don't know. The only thing I told myself was I'm just going to give myself some time this time and see if I like it any better than what I was doing.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know.
Poof, voila.
Yeah.
Recovery happened.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, after a while, I forgot that I was still on probation because I was doing the right thing. I was following recommendations.
You wanted to do good.
Yeah, and I wanted to do good. And but I think my story differs than a lot of people because some people have this come to God moment and they knew that they were going to stay sober. Something happened where they just said they were done. And honestly, that was not the case for me. I didn't know if I was going to stay in it, but I just kept telling myself I was going to give myself some time. And I just told myself that over and over and over. And eventually I got some time under my belt. And I don't know, it's gotten me this far.
Gotten you this far. What, so when you got up in here, man, and you really started working on recovery, where did you think your life was going to be in 8 years? You're at 8 years, right?
6.
You're at 6 years?
Yeah.
I thought you had 8.
Nope.
You didn't relapse, right?
No.
Yeah. You have 6 years?
Yeah.
So
I mean,
2020.
7 in November.
Oh, interesting. Huh. But then again, I'm kind of a space cadet anyways. I forget my own name sometimes. So 6 years. Wow, that's quite an achievement. So did you think you're going to be here in 6 years? Did you have an expectation on what your recovery was going to look like?
Nope.
Lucky you.
I mean, well,
Lucky
that's
you.
not true.
Because I did, and that didn't happen.
I mean, at what point are you saying before I actually got sober, or a year in? Or
no,
2
like
years
in the beginning, like what did you want to do? You know what I mean? Like where you're like, oh, I'm going to become a teacher, or I'm going to become or I'm going to do this, and I'm going to have a house, and I'm going to white picket fence, and all that. You know, because that was my thing, right?
I tried not to think that far ahead.
That's good. That's good. I didn't have that experience, and I of course I wish I would have. You know what I mean? But I had an expectation, and that expectation didn't get met, man, and that really sucked for a long time. You know, and I really realized that like I shouldn't have put an expectation on what my recovery is going to look like. You know, they say you tell God your plans, and He's going to laugh at you, right?
Right.
You know?
But I also think that mindset got me in trouble before I got sober. Because
having an expectation on what it was going to look
because
like?
coming out of high school, I was already I didn't have an expectation for what life was really going to look like. And so, like, depending on your mindset, that can either be a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah.
So,
well, if you're using drugs, it's probably a bad thing.
well, that's what I'm saying. I mean,
Yeah.
not having any expectations on what life looks like. I mean, I got myself in some pretty terrible situations.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I didn't want to jinx myself coming into recovery and saying, you know, if I don't have this income by this date, it's a failure or whatever. So I tried not to have expectations in that sense, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard because you think you're going to, or I thought I was going to be I thought I was gonna think different with different points in my sobriety, and you're kind of just stuck with yourself,
Yep.
which is good and bad.
It can be very bad.
It can be very bad.
It can be very bad because you think that you're going to be in a different spot than you
right.
actually are.
And I mean, I still sometimes struggle with this, but a year or two in, I would look around, I'd be like, these people are so happy, and I am still filled with anxiety and fear and all of that. And yeah, I don't know. It's you're not just cured one day.
No, it's not. And the thing is that like I feel like for me, it's like, you know, over time, like recovery, it changes shape. You know, because like when we get here, it's like, yeah, I don't want to use narcotics anymore, or I don't want to drink, or, you know, it's, I don't know, I consider alcohol narcotic, but whatever. But it's like that's what we want to do, right? Is like I just don't want to do that anymore because there's problems, right?
Right.
And then it's like you hang around for a while and then you start running into problems and you're like, well, what is this all about? Like, why do I have this problem? You know, and then you've got to realize that like you got to dig deeper. You got to get to the root of that, man. You got to pull out the root, or else it's still gonna grow. You know what I mean? And so that's when the real. And here's another thing too, is that like I know for me, like I developed issues in recovery that like I didn't even know I was gonna have because I didn't know healthy ways to manage life because nobody gave me a blueprint, right? Like this is gonna happen and you're gonna feel this way. Maybe you should do this, or
like,
you know,
what? Can you be more specific?
Issues that I came up with in recovery.
Yeah.
Commitment issues.
Gotcha.
You know, like
Okay.
when I first heard somebody say that, right? When I first heard somebody say like, "Oh, I have commitment issues," it's like, "Oh, you just bang other people." You know what I mean?
Right.
That's what I thought. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I thought, right? But for me, it's like I do have commitment issues, and I didn't know that until I was in a spot where I had to be.
How would you know?
Yeah, well, because and then all of a sudden it was like I got to the spot where it was like, whoa, you know, like all of a sudden I'm pushing this person onto my life for absolutely no reason at all. You know what I mean? And I'm coming up with reasons of why I don't like this person when I know that it's a lie, because in the beginning I really like this person.
Right.
But my brain automatically comes up with something to just push them out and push them away. You know, so, and then there was a whole lot of period of avoidance with that too. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then with that came other issues. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's just an example for me, right? Because
Absolutely.
like, I didn't know, and I still don't know, like, you know, healthy ways of actually, well, you know, I take that back. I am learning a lot better. You know, I'm not going to jump on Facebook and trash the person. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, they did this or they did that. It's fine. When something's done, it's done. I'm not going to go hash it up and try to drag their name through the mud. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like if it's me and my friend having a conversation, then I mean, like, yeah, I'm going to tell my friend how I feel, but I don't feel that a lot of, you know, some of the things that I've been through should be public, you know? And for instance, in my earlier recovery, I would do that. I would act out.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like, and I look back on those things and it's like, wow, you know, cause like, I can look at, you know, like, well, these people, and it's like they had a life to live too. You know what I mean? And their life probably wasn't that easy either.
Right.
You know, and if I could think about things like that, you know, I probably wouldn't have done that. But I didn't think that way back then. You know what I mean? You know, so but like now it's like I've that and you get to realize like how precious life is, you know? Like we just lost somebody 2 days ago. Boom,
Yep.
just like that.
Yep.
Just like that. I seen him a couple weeks ago. He's gonna come cut my grass. Now he's gone.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I've learned some unhealthy ways, man, and I've learned a lot of things about myself that, like, you know, I probably didn't want to learn. You know what I mean? Like, and it's weird to think of, you know, like for instance, I went and I met up with somebody yesterday that like I haven't seen in probably, I don't know, some years.
Yeah.
You know, and they were around in my early recovery, and I've seen them recently, right? And I was talking to this person, and they were like, "Yeah, man, you know, like I kind of asked around about you, you know," and I was like, "Oh yeah, well, what'd they say?" You know, I was kind of confused, like, "Well, what'd they say?" And they're like, "Yeah, a lot of people think you're a pompous ass," and I was like, "Oh, I've heard that before." You know what I mean? I've heard that before, and then I got to thinking, and I was like, "Well, I wonder where do these people know me from? Is it my early recovery? Is it year 1, 2, or 3? Because I can definitely stand behind that. They're right."
Right.
I mean, maybe so now. I don't know. I mean, I don't feel that way, you know, but there's that Johari window, you know what I'm talking about? Like things that you can't see in yourself.
Oh,
I mean, I don't think I'm pompous, but I mean, maybe some people do, right? But it's like thinking about that and thinking about the stages in my recovery that like what, especially like year 1, 2, and 3, like I really thought I had the answers, and like, you know, I probably felt better, but I was naive. I was naive, you know, and I was wrong as well. you know, because I thought that like when I got up in here that like I wasn't gonna have these issues, right? And I looked around at people and I was like, look at what he's doing, look what they're doing, look what they're doing. We shouldn't do that in recovery. We shouldn't do that in recovery. And I had so much to say about it, right?
That's hard not. It's
Fast
hard not
forward,
to.
I did all those things except one. I never cheated on my wife. I never had a wife, you know, hence the commitment issues. But you know what I mean. But still,
Right.
you know, I have no right. I had no right to judge that person, you know. And I really learned a lot of things about how this disease can show up, you know, because like when I've acted out of my recovery, I didn't want to. I really didn't. It wasn't my intentions to do something that was acting out of my disease, right? I didn't want to do it, but I still did it anyways. And I started to learn about like what the disease of addiction really is, you know, like how we do things out of compulsion. And, you know, like it's like, oh, I just did it. You know, I didn't want to, but I did. You know what I mean?
I mean, I still talk about how. I mean, I still justify things that I know I shouldn't be doing.
Yeah. Oh, me too. Totally. Still do. Yeah.
I mean, as addicts, we're one of the best.
How about today? Did you do anything today that you shouldn't be doing?
I mean, I feel guilty for scrolling on, social media
That's
for
not
way
that
too
bad.
long. I know
That's
it's
not that bad.
I know
That's
it's not
that
too bad, but like I feel the clock ticking. You could have been doing something.
Yeah, more
better
productive.
life. You
Yeah.
could have been at the gym. You could have been.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I could have been doing anything.
Because I'm sitting here as I'm asking this, and I'm going over my day, and I'm like,
today wasn't so bad.
yeah, you did
I
good
think.
today. And isn't that the great thing about recovery?
I mean,
is
I
that-
slept in too long. Could have been doing something earlier.
yeah, but you needed it.
Did I though?
I think so.
I mean, who knows?
How has your sleep been recently?
I mean, sleep is hard for me because I work nights.
Boom. There you
on
go.
The weekend,
You needed it then.
and then I have a rotating schedule of mandatory overtime. So I mean, my weeks look different every week,
Yeah.
and then I try to switch over for the 4 days I have off.
Yeah, you got a swing shift, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's terrible. It sounds terrible.
right. So I mean, I don't know how my sleep ever is.
Yeah.
really.
Because I had to start at 4 this morning, and every other day I start at 6, and I hate it. Because every Friday I'm crabby. You know what I mean? I can feel it.
Right.
You know, I was talking to my buddy, and he was like, "Are you crabby?" And I was like, "Yeah." You know, I was like, "Yeah, I can't help it. I didn't get enough sleep." I mean, I
Yeah.
did, but I didn't. You know, I went home and took a little bit of a nap, but it just messes up the whole weekend. But
Right.
yeah, so that's good though. I mean, if that's all that you did, that's kind of a win. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, I can justify how that's a great day compared to what I used to do.
Right.
I
But
mean, but if I do that for every day, I mean, am I really progressing?
I don't know. Are you?
Not if I can justify anything.
What does your sponsor think?
Check him out. Check him out. He's blushing. A
Yeah,
little
did
bit.
I hit a nerve here, dude? Are we onto something?
I have a group of people I talk to. I don't necessarily.
Oh, I
have
love
a
it.
sponsor.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Well,
Nope,
we're on to something, aren't we?
I guess so.
Yeah.
Gotta have one of those.
You know what? I mean, I don't know. I've gone through periods where I don't talk to my sponsor much, but I've been in contact with my sponsor a lot more recently. You know, and I think what's hard is that like in long-term recovery, he's kind of like, and he's never really told me like, you know, not to do things, but he just explores what these outcomes could be
Right.
and has me dissect it and look at it. Not like, do you think you should be doing that? He's never really said any of that. He's just like, well, you know, this is what could happen. He kind of co-signs it, kind of. But
Right.
I think he's just more or less like, I'm going to be there for you when whatever happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
which
I
is
have
good.
a few people like that.
So did you ever have a sponsor?
Yes, I've had a few.
What happened?
Most of them relapse.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That sucks.
I mean,
Did they make it back? Did they die?
no,
That's good.
not.
That's a
no.
plus. Then they have a chance.
Yeah.
Maybe. My first sponsor relapsed. Yeah. And that was,
I think, yeah, one of my first sponsors, you were sponsoring.
I was?
Yeah.
I don't recall. You'll have to tell me after the show or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've sponsored a lot of guys that relapse. A lot.
Yeah, it happens.
I've sponsored more guys that have died than I made it to 2 or 3 years of recovery.
Really.
Yep. Oh yeah. I think probably time 10, a little 10x.
That's great.
Bad sponsorship? I don't know. Hey, it could be.
No.
No. I was very open to sponsoring. You know, in the beginning, it was, you know, I was always told always say yes, and I had a conversation with an addict today that like I actually said no. You know, because he asked me multiple times, right? And I had sponsored him at one point, but it was like, for me, it was like at some point I'm doing them a disservice, because
Right.
if we're doing the same thing and they're doing the same thing and they're acting on their disease, what good am I gonna do? You know, we've already been to this place. Like maybe you should go explore. I always tell people go look for somebody that isn't like you, and
Right.
that's how I pick my sponsor, because usually I'm like, all right, well, let me go pick a street looking dude. You know what I mean, or somebody that's all tatted up or something, and then like maybe they because they look alike, so we must know something.
Right.
And finally, this time I just picked somebody completely different. Like you wouldn't figure that me and my sponsor are, you know, have the relationship that we do, but you know, he's gave me a different way of looking at things. You know, whereas I'll take things at face value, but he really dissects some stuff and really analyzes things that like I don't do. You know what I mean? Which I should,
Right.
right? But I don't. So we got a new guest over here. Somebody that's looking to pop on here real quick. Give it up for Jack. Yeah, Jack. Yeah.
Thank you.
I don't know where the special side
Thank
effects
you.
are, or
Okay.
sound effects, side effects. I know where the
Okay.
side effects are.
Yeah.
So, so tell us about yourself. What brings you to Wilbur Recovery? What brings you on this free for all?
Well, my name is Jody, and I'm in recovery. I love Will Work.
All right.
I absolutely love it. This is fast becoming my new home, my new family.
Okay.
I found it through a person. His name, I don't know if he wants me to put his name out there, so I'm not going to do that.
We'll do anonymous.
Right. We'll
Yeah.
do anonymous.
Yeah.
But my experience in the program, this program, has been way different
Mm-hmm.
than in an AA setting.
Mm-hmm.
It's less,
Formal.
yes,
Mhm.
it's less formal, it's less anal, it's less, it's just less.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I like about it.
Okay.
I like the unorthodox,
Okay. Yeah. A lot of people seem to.
I like the organized chaos
Mm-hmm.
that ensues just before the meeting.
So, have you ever been to an NA meeting?
No,
There's a lot of organized chaos in the NA meeting too.
really.
Not to take anything away from this meeting. I love Will Work. I come here all the time. A lot of my friends are here, but there's a lot of organized chaos, and then there's a lot of unorganized chaos as well. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that happens at some NA. It depends on where you go. I mean, there's some AA meetings that are like that too. You know, I've heard of people smoking marijuana at AA meetings, and I've been at meetings where you got to wear a suit and tie. So I mean, you know, there's a wide variety of meetings out there, man. And
Yeah.
you know,
You gotta go where you fit in.
what's how long you been sober for?
My birthday is July 4th, 2023.
Okay, so that
So
would
3 years.
you're 3 years old. Okay.
Yep.
So do you not go to regular traditional AA meetings then?
I do.
still do?
I go to one meeting a week, traditional.
Yeah.
It's happy hour at Fridley.
Okay.
It's real laid back. There's not many people in the meeting. There's probably like 6 of us.
Yeah.
We do book. We work from the book.
Yeah.
We just went through Wives.
Mm-hmm.
We did the chapter Wives.
Mm-hmm.
Golly gee, come to find out, I did everything wrong in my marriage, you know?
Imagine that.
Right. That's probably why I don't have a marriage anymore.
Yeah.
But I didn't understand. So I went out and I started to do the same things.
Of course. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I was young. He was young.
Mm-hmm.
We had no business being married.
Yeah.
But that's when my drinking and my drugging started.
Oh, really?
was
So
during my
you were a
marriage.
late bloomer then, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how old were you when you started using?
When I started using, I was probably about 13.
Okay, so
But
when did it become a
chaos-
problem? Yeah.
The problem started after my divorce. So in about 98, 99.
How old were you?
Gosh, I suck at math. I'm 55 now. So
27 years ago, so about 27, right? Roughly,
Yeah, I was-
roughly somewhere around
I
there.
was my Independence Day from my marriage was April 9th, 1999.
Oh, okay.
So
So I mean, relatively, I mean, not super late. I've heard some people's stories that are a little later than that, but
yeah,
you never know. Yeah, people getting addicted to methamphetamines in their 30s, 40s, stuff like that.
I started using meth in my
Yeah.
30s and in my 40s.
Okay. Yeah.
And then one night I was able to sleep and I woke up the next morning. I had a dream.
Yeah.
And in that dream, God sat me down and said, look, you're done.
Really?
You know, you're absolutely done. I've seen you do this, this, and this
Yeah.
with this person, and this person. I've watched you dance this way, and this way. And you're done.
Yeah. So that's what brought you in recovery, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Man, I wish it was that easy for me.
Oh, yeah. That's
that's
because
great.
I was taught when I was growing up to fear God
Yeah.
more than I feared my mother.
Yeah.
And I fear my mother.
Yeah.
She put the fear of herself in me, and then she put the fear of God in me.
Yeah. It's good.
You know,
Good to have that. Yeah.
She went a little overboard on the
Yeah.
fear of her on me, but
Yeah.
it was the 80s.
Right. That's kind of how it worked. Yeah.
Nobody cared.
Yep. Yep.
Nobody cared.
Yeah,
Not
things sure
even
have
social
changed.
services. So,
Yeah.
but my heavy usage didn't start until my 30s.
Mm.
And then I was any day that ended in Y, I was at the bar drinking,
Yeah.
having shots of tequila, Mick Golden Lights, all about it, all night long.
Yeah.
And I never got the hint of how embarrassing it was to have my friends call me and say, do you know what you did last night?
Yeah.
You know, back before I got sober, I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Like,
Badge of
what
honor.
do what do you mean? What did I do last night? Tell me it's a what and not a who, you know? That's all I care about. Tell me tell me anything, but
Yeah.
just don't tell me it was a who, you know?
Yeah.
But I hit it hard. Come
Yeah.
on.
Both of y'all can come up in here, man.
Come on.
That's your friend?
Yeah.
He's just watching you?
Yeah. Get in here. Hi. Hi, Barbie.
Oh, she don't want to. She's scared. Her little scared.
Why?
Yeah, hers is a
What's
little
this?
scared.
Yeah. Well, I asked her if she was going to come on to the show, and she was like, "No, I'm just waiting for Jody." And I was like, "Well, you know, I host the Wednesday night." I said, "Just because you're watching it now, maybe you can come on Wednesday."
Yeah.
Right. So when I hit my 30s, that's when I got divorced when I was 29 or somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And that's when I lost my ever-loving mind.
Mm-hmm.
Because my kids stayed
You're
with
free.
my ex. Right. My kids stayed with my ex-husband. I was like, I'm free to live my life. I don't have my son who's very violent. I don't have him cracking me upside the head anymore. I don't have to deal with my ex-husband telling me it's not him, it's my parenting. I don't have to deal with any of that anymore. And I just went buck wild.
Mm.
You know, it's worse than your parents going on vacation and throwing a party in the house. It was
Yeah, that's
worse
probably a
than
little worse
risky
than that. Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
I can imagine
I
that.
went through that a little bit when I got divorced.
And what good quote unquote friends I had, they didn't see the warning signs.
Yeah.
You know, I went to a place when I didn't want to see anyone, and it's called the Hideaway.
Yeah.
And no one really knew where it was because it was up on Highway 65 and the sign's kind of hidden, and you really got to know where it is. The only person that would ever know that I was there was my best friend, Dawn.
Yeah.
That's what best friends
Everybody-
are supposed to know.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody else, they'd be like, "Where's Jody? Where's Jody?" And Dawn would be like, "Oh."
But she knew.
Right.
Yeah. Of course.
Um,
Yeah.
My thing was get high to run from my problems.
Yeah.
I didn't have a
Kind of
car.
universal thing, yeah.
Yep, I didn't have a car. Oh, woe is me. I can't drive to go get my kids. Poor me.
Mhm.
Let's go get high. Instead of trying to find a job, to get a car, to be a responsible adult, I decide,
Get some meth.
right?
Get
I
some meth.
decide the answer is math.
Yeah.
The answer is math.
Good answer.
It's hot in here. I'm going to interject. Do y'all want the air on?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I don't know none of these things, so.
Well, if I would have known you were winging it, I would have came up and helped you.
Yeah, he was. We're totally winging it.
Yeah, absolutely. Are they karaokeing out there or what? Oh, okay.
But
Nice.
I was even offered before my ex-husband asked me for the divorce on Christmas Day, the best Christmas present I've ever gotten in my life.
My first love dumped me on Christmas too. Yeah, I love that.
I looked at him and I was like, "Are you sure?" He was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Free at last, free at last. Thank
Free
God
at
Almighty, I'm free at last."
Yes.
I said, "You have one more chance to show me that you are slightly intelligent." Who that is famous said those words? And he looked at me and went, "Well, you just did." I said, "See, that's why I don't like you, because you're stupid." We didn't respect each other.
That was the thing in my marriage too. We had no respect for each other whatsoever at all. So what are you doing these days?
These days I'm just trying to stay clean by coming to Will Works and going to the Thursday meeting out in Fridley, the 5:30 happy hour meeting. I'm the only girl. We just read Wives
Oh, nice.
in the book.
Okay.
So being the only woman, I was like, I was a wife of someone who drank
Mhm.
and I did it all wrong.
I had heard about Al-Anon and Alateen. I got introduced to the program when I was 16 years old. And I've always been a raging meth addict. And by the time I was 16, I was manufacturing. And back then, when I went, there was really only AA meetings in my area. And when I went there, being as like I'm zany now, but I'm way tame compared to what I used to be. And I think my first handful of meetings, I got asked to leave. This isn't the place for you. Maybe you should find somewhere else to go. And that
was hurtful.
was hurtful, yeah. And I was always the youngest and usually one of the only girls in there, and but like the tenacity that some of us have,
Right.
I just don't know how to quit.
See, my experience with that was I went to sleep in the meth house. And in the night, I had a dream and God was in my dream.
Prophetic dream.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he said, "Look, Jody Lynn, I have seen you do this, this, and this with this person, and this person. I have seen you dance this way, and that way. I have watched you do this, this, and this, and you are done." And because my arms are too short to box with God,
I love that.
I woke up the next morning, I grabbed my tweaker bag.
Bug
And
out
I
bag.
Yep.
Yeah.
I hit the door and I was like, "Bye." And they said, "See you later." I said, "Nope, I'm done." And I don't think I ever looked back.
That's excellent.
Did I still have urges? Yes.
I think that's
you
something that
know.
we're gonna continue. I mean, I hear Paul all the time. He's got like a lot I don't even know how long he's got clean, but he's got a lot of years clean. I've even heard Rob a time or two say it like
All the time.
yeah, like, and I don't think we ever get removed completely. It's we
Right.
get a daily reprieve is what it says in the book, right?
Right.
And it's only contingent on what we're willing to do about our spiritual condition. Yeah.
Right. Well, I downloaded the Everything AA and Everything NA.
Have you ever read Drop the Rock?
No.
It's a good one.
Okay.
And it's a companion book to the I believe 6th and 7th step.
Okay.
Yeah. So my sponsor and my sponsee sisters and her sponsor, my sponsors, like, what's that, your grand sponsor? All last summer, we would meet every Saturday at Starbucks in the morning, and we would read a chapter out of Drop the Rock, and we would discuss it and talk about how we were going to apply that this coming week or the following week.
Right.
And then when we would reconvene the next week, we would talk about, did we meet those goals, those little tiny smart goals we set, or was there somewhere we faltered? And with all things that are suggested that turn out to be helpful, I find initially I'm like, I'm not doing that. That's stupid. And then I do it anyway because
Right.
I don't make good decisions on my own. So if I just do the things, even if I don't like them, 9 out of 10 times, I find that they're way more helpful than what I had thought prior. So
Yeah. I just take every day step by step. I realize I've been clean from meth for about 13 years or more. Nope, 13 years because I 13 years. So but I still get zingy sometimes.
oh God,
I
so do
still
I.
feel like I'm on meth sometimes. And man, I'm glad my daughter's not around me when that happens because she would assume the worst.
That still
and-
happens to me though too. Like I'm not far removed, but I got 2.5 years, and I still today, as a matter of fact, like I woke up super tired, but by the time I got to work, I was full of way too much unnecessary energy. I'm running around like doing all this weird crap. Like, you ever seen a little tiny spider do its spider dance? That was how I felt this morning. Just bizarre.
That was not my experience this morning.
No, my experience was not that. My
No.
experience was, I gotta get up.
Yeah, I was up at 2:45. I don't think humans should be up at that time. Really
Well,
don't.
unless they
terrible.
haven't
And you're
gone
still
to
awake.
sleep yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's weird because I feel like I'm on drugs. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, this is that eerie time between like 2 and 5 where it's like, yeah, I shouldn't be up. Like, I'm a piece of shit. You know what I mean? I remember that so many days like that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just oh, it was terrible.
Wondering when can I sleep? When is, or do I want to sleep?
Yeah.
Do I want to come?
Well, and
down?
then like I went and got an energy drink, and my coworker just stayed at one spot, and it was like there was a company truck, and like I went in this gas station, and like there was a person in there, well, 2 people in there. One was and clearly he was high on either crack or some kind of uppers. And I mean, not to judge, but I mean, I'm pretty sure she was working, and they were in the store arguing with the guy, and I come out and there's a company truck, and like I didn't think anything of it, and like so I'm painting this road, man, and that company truck drives by, and then the 2 are in this company truck, and I'm like, wow, like I wonder if and it was a really big company, and I was like, I wonder if they know how strung out their employees are. You know what I mean? And it was like,
Dang.
wow, like, and because it was crazy because it was like 5:30 in the morning. You know what I mean? So like he was probably dropping her off and then going to work because he had a 6 a.m. start
Right.
on
Right.
some union job site, right? And I was like, wow, dude, like that dude's wild, man. It's crazy but it's like it's weird to think about like what their experience is.
I
Like,
remember.
are they
seeing-
in that spot of like, do they even want to stop? Is it still fun? Maybe it's still fun for them. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like some people never do. Some people will take this to the grave, and
Yep.
they don't ever
I
feel
used to
anything
think
wrong
that
with
I
it.
would smoke to the grave.
Cigarettes?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
That's what I've always said.
Yeah, I got some cigarettes.
I know.
now.
I know. And then I got like working out in the smoke, and then like we run this big pump machine,
Yeah.
and it just kicks out the exhaust, and we got closed garage doors. I was starting to get lightheaded and stuff. I was like, yo, we need to open up a door. Like, we're all
Yeah.
gonna get dead.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm wearing respirators on a 90-degree day.
I thought I was gonna smoke till I died too. I remember that. Yeah, because I started smoking cigarettes when I was 8 years old.
Me too.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I tried cigarettes when I was about 7 or 8.
Yeah. It was terrible, and I didn't think it was possible not to smoke.
That's where I'm at.
You
Like,
know.
and I keep trying to tell myself, like, I've even gotten the cinnamon sticks, I've gotten the gum, the lozenges, I've tried it all. And like,
Yeah.
I try to tell myself, like, you're not a smoker, you don't even like it. And it's slowly starting to work, but like, I'm an addict. I want this shit to work now.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm drowning on my own lung fluid. It's disgusting.
Yeah. Yeah, cigarettes
Yeah.
are oof.
I hate it. I hate the way they smell. I don't
Yeah.
like. Ugh,
They're
God,
terrible.
they are. And ever
They're
since you
terrible.
pointed out that they smell like poop, they do.
They do.
They do.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't know that. I
They
didn't know
do.
that. I honestly didn't know that. I was like, oh,
They do.
they do. They do. They smell like
I
poop.
don't know.
Horrible.
I don't know if they smell like poop, but
They
they
do.
certainly don't smell like petunias.
No, that's for sure.
Oh.
Yeah.
I just noticed that they smell like poop.
Yeah, they smell like some parts of my job.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's wild. And then it's just I mean how expensive they are. I think when I
my
quit,
God, I know.
I think they were like $7-8 a pack.
Well, and it's crazy.
Now they're
too,
like
'cause-
twice that.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
Like-
yeah, they're like almost.
That wasn't that long ago. Like
I
you just
know.
doubled in price.
They're like 14, 16, somewhere
You
know what I mean?
$18 a pack.
My favorite pack of cigarettes. I went to try to go get because like once every couple of months I'll get myself a pack of Camel Reds that was spelled with a K.
yeah, I remember
They're
those.
super rare. Like
Yeah.
you can't even find the full flavors anymore or
Yeah.
the lights. And I found them and I went to go $17. I was like, absolutely not.
Yeah,
Give me the $13 pack
yeah, yeah,
because $5 is better, right?
yeah. That's
But
insane.
it's crazy because if you go over to Wisconsin or North Dakota, you can get them for like $3 or $5 a pack. North Dakota, you can still get them for like $5 a pack.
Really?
Yes.
But
I'm
if you're
very
caught-
seriously
if
thinking,
you're caught bringing them over,
ain't nobody. I listen.
We had
I'm not
it. We ain't worried
worried
about
about
that. Yeah,
do you know what I'm saying though?
Yes.
Like, how dare they make that an impossibility? Like,
Don't get
we're
caught by the
still-
feds.
Yeah, we're still gonna do it.
That's great.
I'll get
That's
a bunch of Heide keys and put my cigarette packs all over my allegedly.
Yeah.
Yes, I would allegedly do something. As
I should take
Such
this
as
picture
that.
home. It needs to not be.
let me see it.
I was like, this was when I first got all my teeth pulled. And I think this was right before I had cancer, like literally months before I had cervical and uterine cancer.
I had cervical and uterine cancer too. I had to have everything out.
Yep, me too.
I was,
And then magically
35
last
years
year, an
old.
ovary grew back, I guess, apparently. Then the doctor was like, oh, I've heard of this. And I was like, of course you did, because I'm part alien. So I'm not really
Um,
surprised the parts are growing back 20 years later.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
It is crazy.
I didn't want to have kids till I was 35 years old because I figured if you're not set by 35, honey, you don't need to have a child. But then at 35 is when I found out that I had cancer.
I was 27, but I had the cancer clue cells like as soon as I hit puberty. But then,
Yeah.
like, I got told by 4 different doctors in 2 separate states it was physically impossible because I have a super rare blood type that tries to kill your babies in utero if they don't also lack the antigen that I lack. It's actually pretty common up here. Like a lot of
RH
moms- yeah,
negative?
RH negative, yes.
A friend of mine, she's RH negative.
Yeah, yeah. So your babies you have to get a shot at like between 15 and 24 or 27 weeks, something like that, and then within the first, gosh, I want to say like because they can't give your baby a shot right after they're born, but because like your blood is still circulating through your baby for
Uh-huh.
up to 72 hours after they're born or whatever.
Uh-huh.
So then 3 of my 4 children had to all have a shot after they were born, but my last one didn't, which tells me that she must have my blood type.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I ended up having, those 4 doctors told me I couldn't have babies, and then I was pregnant like 3 years in a row. I got two sets of Irish twins.
Nice.
How's
Nice.
your relationships going these days with those kinds of things?
I don't talk to my little sister. She's still
Yeah, I remember you guys were having like a rocky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's still not wanting me to talk about anything to do with her, so I'm going to respect that. My oldest sister Julia and I, though, we talk all the time. She keeps me in check. She keeps me honest. She'll look at me and go, Joe, now you know damn well. So she keeps me honest,
It's good.
and I have just a handful of friends,
It's good. I would rather have 4 quarters and 100 pennies easily.
just a handful of friends that I keep real close, and everybody else is on the outside and they can stay that way. What do you got to say?
I don't know. As of recent, I've been like reaching out to new people. I've been going to Central Pacific and getting. So there's a dude there that I couldn't stand in early recovery, and I remember just going to that meeting. It's kind of one of the ones that you were first speaking of. Like they're kind of, it's real formal, right? Like there's
Yeah.
people there wearing suit and ties, and you're not supposed to wear your hat at the podium and stuff like that. But I like that. And I feel that like my recovery kind of needs that. You know, over the years, it kind of blurred for me, and you know, like this person that like I didn't really care for much was like the first person like actually introduced themselves to me, right? And got
Wow.
my number and like actually text me, you know, and wishing you a great day. And it was like, wow, man, like it really like was like, whoa, that's pretty cool, you know, because I have people that I've known for years that don't do that. You know what I mean? And like
Right.
cool, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like not to, you know, not that they're bad people or nothing, but it was like it was just refreshing to like get a text. Like you took time out of your day to text me and like,
Right.
you know what I mean? And then like I go there and he pushes me into getting people's numbers. You know what I mean? I was supposed to in early recovery, but instead like I sit there and I tell myself that like I don't look like these people, I don't act like these people, I'm not these people, but I still come and I hear a message, right? But really that's just me lying to myself, you know? So I go there and I'll get another number, you know, and I'll get another number and I'll call that person. They're like, oh, it's so nice to hear from you. I ain't heard that in a long time. You know what I mean? And it's really cool to like to just feel that kind of nostalgia of like maybe I should do that and maybe I should stop just thinking like people suck or whatever, because like, you know, I've learned a lot of things in recovery and a lot of, you know, people that like I need to avoid, and my conclusion was that everybody sucks and fuck everybody, you know what I mean? And that was kind of how I felt for a long time. But like
That's why I'm coming here. Because
Realistically-
I had that attitude. of
realistically it's
everybody
not
sucks.
the way to think, because you're robbing somebody that's walking through the door an experience of getting to learn something from you.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Because if you're gonna shut yourself out, you know, how are you gonna be available for somebody that might need you to save their life?
Right.
Something that you say that you possess that nobody else possesses, because we're all different too, right? Like we're all very similar, but we're all very different. And the thing is though too is that like, you know, calling most of these people, like, you know, talking with them, they're not much different. Yeah, they may not have any tattoos or anything, and may have, you know, jobs that, you know, require, you know, the corporate world or something that like, yeah, I mean, you know, on the outside it's different, but a lot of things are the same. But like what I really enjoy about it is that like they answer their phone, you know what I mean? And like there's been people that I got their number and they call me, right? You know, because like you kind of go into recovery, and don't get me wrong, I'm responsible for picking up my phone, I know that, you know, but you go so long in recovery and people just automatically assume because you have time that like you're okay, right?
Right.
You know,
Yep.
and a lot of time it's like, depending on what you got going on, like you can tell yourself that like, oh, you shouldn't be feeling this way, or you shouldn't all over yourself, right? But it's been good to like, you know, get out of my comfort zone and ask somebody for their number, you know, because I haven't done that in years. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's been years since I did that, right? And you know, I mean, not everything's always great. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm somebody that struggles with mental health a lot, you know, and that's why I'm in the gym and all that stuff too. But sometimes that's not even a cure all, right? And life's been hard, and I don't, you know, there's no blueprint on it. You know, my dad died, and there's not a blueprint on how I'm supposed to handle that. You know, there's not a blueprint on how I'm supposed to handle all, you know, being my mom's power of attorney and all that stuff, and how I feel about all that. And
I'm glad you're talking about it little bit by little
Yeah.
bit though, because
Yeah.
that's important.
and
It's a big job.
Well, the thing is that like I can't hug my mom back into her youth,
Right.
and that's what I want to do, but that's not what reality is, you know.
Yeah, but
And
how incredible that you get to show up for her today. Because if
Right.
you were fucked up, there's no chance.
I'd have went to jail by now.
Yeah.
You know, well, I mean, if I was alive, you know, I more than likely, I definitely wouldn't have made it this far if I would have kept on going where I was going. But it's very difficult because I feel that I know the right thing to do, but in reality, I don't really want to do it, you know,
Yeah.
and it makes me really angry, and The good thing though is that like there's a level of maturity that I didn't have X amount of years ago, right? Like even year 4 or 5 in recovery that like I wouldn't have today. Like I'd have probably went up in there and be like, look, fuck you, lady, talking to the director and stuff like that. But like I kind of I had a mature conversation. And the hard thing is like a lot of people can still see you as that addict that you first were before you got in the rooms. And it's not even intentional, right? Like my sister kind of does that. And I can get a little, I can flare up and my temper starts getting going. And I'm sure like her anxiety probably gets going because of that, because she's seen me at my worst, right? And usually when I'm acting up, like some shit's about to go down,
Right.
and that's usually how it is, right? But now it's like, I know that there's a level of maturity that I have to have. Like, let's say that, for instance, I don't like the fact that, she has to go to assisted living. I don't like the fact that there's some CEO that gets $1 million a year, and like the list could go on and on, right? But like the thing is that I have the maturity now to not take it out on that poor nurse that's probably making $18 an hour,
Right.
that's taking care of my mom, that really has nothing to do with it, but out of the kindness of her heart, she's doing that job where she could probably find a better job.
Right.
So that's when the maturity comes in, where I can actually see the people and not take it out on them. You know what I mean? And I had a conversation with the director the other day, and I said, look, I'm very protective of my mom, and I just want you to know that, and I would do anything for her, anything, and that's a true statement, but that also means that I need to be mature, and
Yep.
if I'm being honest, look at the pros and cons. I mean, if I were to hire outside help, it would cost the same, right? And she's somewhere where she's going to be safe. She's going to have friends. They do activities, and they have a salon. They do nails there. And I think
She'll
that
make
like
a little community of
right,
gal
and I
pals.
think that like it'll make her feel more, more like a woman or more human or more something, because
Right.
I know that, she just lost my dad, and they were together for 40-something years. That was her whole life. So I'm sure she probably feels a lot very, very low. She doesn't really feel like a lot of those things. So I can kind of look at it from her point of view, and not. I can still be assertive and not be aggressive.
That part.
Right. See, that's I
See-
have to work on that.
it does depend on the recipient though. Right, you know what I mean? But I mean, luckily, I talked with and I do get a good feeling about the place. I don't like the whole, because of course I got on the computer and I looked up all the the profits and the expenses, and then the salaries and all that other stuff.
Okay, but did you look at any reviews?
No, I didn't. But I can get mad about all those things. But when I go there and I ask this person these questions, there's never been a funny answer. It wasn't like there was no stuttering, there was no none of that. There was just answering my question, and by all means, so like I get a good feeling, and I've kind of let my guard down a little bit, and it's hard because I don't know about that one. I don't know how that one's gonna go. My dad was my dad, but my mom's a little different, and that's been something that's, I mean,
It's hard watching.
you don't
your
live forever,
parents age.
she's 78 years old, and she's had MS for 27 years.
She's have to get the infusions.
Mm-mm.
No.
They say MS degresses the older you get, though.
Oh.
And I've kind of seen that with my mother. Because,
Really?
yeah.
My mom's twin sister has MS,
Yeah.
and she's doing. Sorry, I have allergies, and
You're fine.
Fine.
indoor, outdoor.
Yeah.
She's doing, as far as I know, she's doing okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It's weird because, I had just actually heard that, I think, this year. But I do kind of see that now that I think about it, like, because, she had a lot of issues before, and now she's just getting a little older and stuff like that. And, but the best gift that you can give yourself in recovery is being able to show up, and being able to do those difficult things, being there when somebody's taking their last breath, even though everything in you tells you that you want to run,
Right.
but the beautiful thing about my dad when he took his last breath is his sponsor was there. His sponsor was there. He had been estranged from his sponsor for probably 15 years, and he was on the marijuana maintenance program, right? And he had a lot of guilt, but like I would see his friends at the Gopher State Roundup every year, and they were like, "Look, we miss them," you know. And I would come back and I would tell them, "Hey, they miss you. They don't care that you're smoking pot."
Oh my god.
You know, they and then they didn't. You know, I mean, he was old. He was older. He had a lot of pain, and quite frankly, I didn't have any issues with it either. You know, I was like, "Go for it, Dad." You know, but he had a lot of guilt for that. But you know what, man? Like they still showed up for him. And my sponsor was there on the day he took his last breath, and his family wasn't even there. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, like a lot of them, you know, were across the country and stuff like that. And but I mean, there's something powerful in that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, looking at it, and it really, you know, opened my eyes too about, because I mean, we can walk ourselves right out of these rooms.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And I see people do it all the time, and you know, sometimes I come across as a dick when I'm telling people to get their ass to a meeting, and I don't really care, to be honest, because really what I'm trying to say is, man, I'm trying to help you save your life, and maybe it's not that serious, but maybe it's not, maybe it is. You know what I'm saying? I mean, how many people have I had to watch just walk out the door, man, and they're gone
And never come back.
You know
again.
what I'm saying? They ain't even
Yep.
breathing. You know what I
Right.
mean? So I've watched a lot more that walked out that door that aren't breathing, that walked out that door and
I would
aren't
ra-
struggling.
I would rather have an enemy that's alive
Yeah.
than a friend who is dead.
Yeah.
Right.
Plain and simple.
Yep.
And that's the thing, is that it's sneaky, and it'll sneak up on us, man, and it'll tell us these things and we'll believe it. You know, and I see it all the time, and I watch people do it, and it's just like, man, you know, the things that we tell ourselves, you know, and like I feel that like that's just kind of what this disease does, right? And that's why I think it's a disease, right? Some people do, some people don't. It's, you know, some people debate it, whatever, you know. But over time, that's what we see, right? And I don't know. I don't feel that I could afford not to be here. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
realistically today, like, so Tim, I talked to him yesterday, and or no, was it? No, it was today. It was today I talked to him, actually. Yeah, I've been up since 2. Can't you tell? I don't even know what day it is.
Yeah.
But I talked to him today, and you know, and I was like, well, I can make it work, you know. But I also told somebody that I would give them a ride to Pig, and I did. I picked this person up, brought him out there, and just sped all the way back here, man, and just kind of winged it, you know. And it was just kind of like, it feels good to be able to say, yes, I can do that for you. You know what I mean? And here we are, and we made it work. There's been no catastrophes, and
I want to be able to hear Race speak tomorrow, but I didn't arrange for a ride, so I won't be here. So
Yeah.
you guys will have to film it.
Where do you live?
I just live in Shoreview.
I guess I don't even know why I asked that. I don't know where that is.
It's in
it's not
St.
that
Paul.
far. It's in between St. Paul and here.
Well, I could probably come get you.
Okay.
Give me we'll exchange numbers after.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know he's your buddy, so.
Yeah, I can remember when the walk and talk was the first walk and talk there was. I can remember moving here, remember the old building. I can remember the one before that. I wasn't quite at the very beginning, but I think I was 2 locations in.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I miss the old building. I mean, this one's nice, but there's just something about the old building. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's just because that's where it was when I first found it. I don't know. But
So were you at both locations?
not
Or
the
just-
not the original.
second,
that
yeah.
second one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can remember the first one, and it was like we'd eat before the meeting, and yeah, it was great, man. I mean, it was a community, man. It really was a great community of people that we had
Gosh,
a close knit. We
None
had,
of us even do fellowship hardly anymore.
yeah, there
We
was
used to do fellowship all the time,
we-
like at saunas and stuff.
yeah, we had group chats. We had,
I'm
you know
gonna
what I
have a
mean?
pool party at my house and then get the new pool furniture.
Yeah.
It's an indoor pool. I have a pool. I have a party room.
That kind of sucks. I mean, COVID really broke up a lot of the fellowship.
Yeah.
You know, that was a huge
Yeah.
part of my recovery when I first got clean back in 2016 and 2017. And, you know, a lot of that is kind of like, it's just kind of,
Fizzled out. Yeah.
yeah, and that,
Yeah.
it's kind of a bummer, man. Like it really did. And, you know, and I mean,
Yeah, because then there was always stuff to do on the weekends and stuff. People were like hitting each other up, and we're always going places. And I struggled to find stuff to do in my off time, which isn't often, but
yeah.
I get so bored during the day because I don't work. All I have is my cat.
Yeah.
I'm not going swimming by myself because I have fainting disorder.
Yeah.
So it's
No
not a
bueno.
good idea.
I don't like
Yeah.
swimming. As soon as water hits my right nostril, I start drowning immediately.
Why?
I snorted some bad bathtub lithium on accident, that thinking that it's a long story. It's another Jerry Springer show for another day. But there was some crackheads across the street in Washington, and they had 2 tubs. They were trying to make lithium dope, and then they were trying to make some other kind. I don't know, but I got the wrong one, and my nose bled for 3 days, and now there's like
You have a deviated septum?
I'm so bad, like the worst. The side is
my.
totally closed off. The side is.
Yeah. I have to have surgery on mine.
Yeah, I can only breathe out of one too, but I got headbutted in the face.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've had that.
And
done
then I
few
did a lot
times
of drugs too, so I don't know.
That too.
To be honest, I don't really quite know which one it is,
Right.
but yeah, it's
Mine
like,
got broken.
we all right.
Yeah,
We all right.
my husband's fist was as big as my face. So
We made
who
it.
knows?
We made it work.
We
We
did
made
it.
it work.
Yeah.
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 All the things we do to ourselves.
How long does this show run till?
9.
9?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I suppose we should close her up then. 9:06. Look, it's just going right past the date here.
So, what did you think of hosting the show?
It was all right. I mean, I probably should have got more sleep last night. you
Yeah.
know. It was all right. I mean, we just kind of winged it, you know.
That's
So
cool.
it's all good.
Was it you and Jody in here the whole time?
No, I had Jack in here. I guilted Jack into coming on.
Okay. Yeah, nice. I'll have to
Yeah.
go back and watch it.
Yeah. I
Because
guilt-
you don't hardly hear Jack speak a lot.
That's why I guilted him to come back
Yes,
on or
I
to come
love
on.
that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah, he's fun. I love Jack, man. He's a good dude.
His girl is, she's just, her eyes, dude. And like, she's so serene and calm. And I like to just stand near her sometimes because
Yeah.
she's so calm. Her whole aura is so, I wish I could be calm.
Yeah, I
too.
understand that.
I feel
All
like
right.
a cat dropping cold water all the time.
I feel like a long tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs on the daily.
All right. Well,
All right, so we're gonna do these little questions for fun.
okay. I think there's like 120 of them or
Pick,
something.
pick a number.
13.
Morning or night person.
Absolute night person.
Pick a number.
5.
Who was a hero in your life?
My mom.
Mom. I like that.
You.
Yeah.
42. What's the most valuable piece of advice you've been given?
Oh, that's a little gem there. We got the softball questions. He got the
Oh,
Yeah.
thinker.
valuable piece of advice you've ever been given. I don't know if it's the most valuable, but my dad always said it's the fucking you get for the fucking you got.
Wow. I got
The
some good
fucking
advice
cat.
from my grandma.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Oh my
yeah.
god, I like that.
Good girls sit like
This. Pretty
Pretty
girls sit like this. And girls who
Best who
sit like this get this like that.
Oh yeah, I don't remember that one.
I do.
Oh, our grandparents taught us that.
All right, well, attitude for gratitude. We're over and out. See you later.
Bye. Have a good night.
You know how to end it, right? Yes. Pretty self-explanatory. Yeah. And then it takes it a couple of seconds afterwards, and it'll